I was sitting here. I was about to do some. I got a candle order from hey girl, a candle order from a client of mine, and I thought, you know what, this could make a very interesting live if I come on here and dress the candle on the live, and then we can talk about manifestation and answer any questions about manifesting using candles. So I have the Instagram going here. I have the Facebook group going here. So we could just sit and chit chat. And actually, we could just talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. But so anyway, oh, this is just making this worse. Um, I got an order last night from off my website for some candle, well, a candle. And this particular order was for a customized candle. And I'm aware of the person. So if first things first, you can order candles from me, manifestation candles from me on my website at www.melaningoddesslife.biz. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be selling candles, so it just depends on how I feel. But in the meantime, I do still have my manifestation candles on there. So if you are wanting one put together for you, go to the website. So anyway, I got an order last night from actually someone that has ordered candles from me before. So when I saw the name and then I went in there to figure out, find out what it is she wanted, I kind of already knew. So, of course, I'm not going to disclose who the person is, but I can share the type of candle that this person is ordering. She's actually ordering a candle, an orange candle. Okay, so here is the candle right here. It's an orange candle. Now you can use orange candles for a number of things. Okay, so first things first. In manifestation, everything is a tool. Everything is a tool in manifestation. You are a tool of manifestation. So we manifest 24/7, everything that happens to us, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, we play a part of it, play a part in it because we manifest things with our words, with our deeds, with our actions, with our emotions. We bring these things to fruition. So that is it's very important that we are mindful of our words, mindful of our thoughts, especially mindful of speaking things. You have that adage of speaking things into existence. There is life and death in the tongue. There's power in the tongue. Absolutely. So you have to be mindful of what you speak into existence because you can. And I always say manifestation is a blessing and a curse at the same time. It is a blessing once you tap into the gift of being able to speak into things into existence. It's a gift, but it's also a curse because again, you have to guard what you say, what you think, and how you're feeling because you can as easily be you may say something that's you don't even really put any thought into and you just think that you're making a joke or some sort, and then you set that manifestation into motion. And once you get really, really skilled at it, you can speak yourself into some situations that you had no intention of speaking yourself into. So just being mindful of that. So as I was saying, everything is a tool in manifestation. Everything, colors, sounds, smells, our senses, everything. You're a vessel of manifestation. So there is nothing that you can't use in your manifestation work. Keep in mind that this is a personal thing. So whereas you can definitely read about manifestation, you can definitely follow people that manifest and, and pick up tools and pick up things that they do. But at the end of the day, manifestation, as I say with your spirit, is just like your spiritual journey. It is your personal thing. And so a lot of manifestation goes with how you feel, your instincts, your intuition, how you feel. So don't ever feel like you are limited in your manifestation. Don't ever feel like you have to have all these different components and all these different things and tools in order, oh, I have to have all those herbs and all those oils and I have to have all these things to manifest. No. Manifestation is simply as simple as you speaking something into existence or you writing something down. It's just simple. Now, should you always be learning and growing and have different manifestation techniques? Absolutely. Because there's going to be some things that require you to do your manifestation work a little bit differently, okay? And this is where things like candles come in. Some of my favorite manifestation tools are, I'm going to go back. Initially, when I started to recognize my gift of manifestation, mine was simply the thoughts. That's what I would do. I would just think about something and it would manifest. So I did that a lot when I was a kid, like a really, really young child. And as I got into my teens and things like that, then I started to kind of gravitate towards like my early 20s. I started to gravitate towards writing things down. I started to see how there was power in the written word. So that became a big deal for me. And then I got introduced to vision boards. And I did vision boards forever. Honestly, vision board is like my go-to for everything. Like, I love that. I love the idea of taking pictures and cutting out pictures as a representation of what it is you're trying to manifest, because that is energy. That is seeing the thing. And for me, it is important that I see what it is I'm trying to manifest. I see the representation of it. So I did vision boards for years, and I still stand behind doing a vision board. Yes, vision boards absolutely work. They are awesome. And they're the easiest thing to put together. You don't need anything. You just need a couple of magazines, a poster board. You don't even need anything as big as a poster board. It can be as small as anything. But vision boards have been and always will be my go-to. Okay. I have vision boards all over. And but then as I started to do more research and start to do more learning about manifestation, I realized that there is power in colors. There is power in the elements. And so the elements became a really, really big draw for me. And you got the element of water, the element of air, earth, and then we have the element of fire. So those things I started to add into my manifestation work. And I really got into using candles. Now, everything that we use is a tool, okay? Because at the end of the day, you are the manifestation. You are the magic. You are the person that's bringing this forward. The vision boards, the candles, all the other tools, those are just tools and vessels that you put your energy into. But at the end of the day, it is all about what you are putting into it, coming from your spirit, coming from your soul, coming from your mind. At the end of the day, you are the magic, okay? But these tools help because, they give you a place to channel that energy. They give you, something to put that energy into. Sometimes it just gives you the motivation to continue on, or it just helps you, it supports you mentally with what you're trying to manifest. And so, whatever it does for you, then, that's you, whatever it does for you, but it's there to support what it is you're trying to bring into fruition. So We're going to talk about manifestation today while I'm putting this candle together. If you have any questions or you want me to stop and explain anything, let me know. And do we have any questions so far about manifestation that I could try to clear up? Listen, manifestation is not something that I went to school. I don't even think there is a study like a formal study on manifestation. So I'm not going to ever say that I'm an expert on anything. Am I passionate about it? Absolutely. I'm definitely passionate about it. Do I believe in it? I absolutely believe in it. And I will share whatever knowledge I have with you. And I tell people all the time, take with you what resonates with you. If I say something or I do something that, resonates with you and you want to try it out, take that. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you, because again, this is a personal thing. This is a personal journey. It's a part of your own spiritual journey. And you just left the spiritual shop. Yes. Girl, me and Tasha, listen, me and Tasha have a lot in common. Me and Tasha share astrologically the same rising sign. So Tasha and I, crazy enough, have some of the same experiences. We have some of the same thoughts. Tasha it's crazy because sometimes I'll be thinking something and I will send her an inbox and she's like, girl, I was just thinking the same thing. So it's crazy how you can be connected to someone. And so I consider Tasha one of my spiritual sisters, one of my sisters in this spirituality thing. So anyway, back to what I was talking about. So I got an order last night for a manifestation candle. Now, let me tell you something. This is probably not the best business practice, but anybody can dress a candle. Anybody can dress a candle. But some people like other people to do it for them because they may not necessarily have all the herbs and the oils and the tools and all that stuff that they need to go into it. So they prefer someone to do it. Or they just prefer someone else that is like really connected to this type of work to do that for them. But at the end of the day, you can dress your own candle. This is all about you speaking your intentions. A dressed candle could be as simple as you cleansing your candle and speaking into it, because all we're going to do is speak over it. That's it. So first thing that I do, okay, so let me explain to you what kind of candle I'm putting together for this client, this person. Again, she chose an orange candle. And on my website, if you ever want to take advantage of purchasing a candle from me, I have candles that are on there and they explain exactly what they're for. But then I also have some candles that are specifically made for a specific reason. So that would mean you would kind of send me, you don't have to tell me the life story, you don't have to tell me everything that goes on, what's going on, but kind of give me a brief cliff note of what it is you're trying to manifest. And then I will turn around and I will dress the appropriate candle for you with the appropriate herbs and oils that support you in your manifestation work. So this particular customer needed a candle with regards to legal work, a legal case that's going on. So she wants to, of course, manifest a favorable outcome for herself. Now, here's the thing that I always say about court cases. Now, there's some manifestation work that can kind of get a little bit tricky. When you're manifesting, you definitely always want to be as specific as possible, okay? However, for me personally, it is my personal belief that sometimes you can be so specific on things that you actually tie the universe's hands, and you don't want to do that. So when I'm dealing with someone that has a court case and they're trying to manifest something in their favor, I try to educate them in how they should approach this. Of course, we want things to go in our favor, but legal cases can be very tricky because there's a lot of people involved, there's a lot of components involved, and you don't know what the other person may be trying to manifest. So it could get very tricky. So I always tell people, when you're dealing with a legal case and you're trying to manifest whatever, tool that you're using, when you're speaking over that case, I always say, speak to the universe in terms of, I want the best outcome that is favorable for everyone involved. Okay? Because you do want that. You do want that. And I know there may be some situations where you are in a legal case, and this may be a divorce, this may be a custody battle, or this may be a child support issue, things that are very, very personal like that. I always look at, especially when we're talking about custody cases, I always look at, both parent always feels like that they're the best parent and the child should be living with them. And sometimes they lose sight of what is important. What is important is what's best for the child, and not necessarily you winning. And sometimes they lose sight of that. And so, especially when I'm dealing with people that are doing custody cases, I want you to just to say, I want the best favorable outcome for everyone. Because you do. Because you're going to have to co-parent. So you do want the other parent to be in the best possible space that they can be in, mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially. It does not do your child well if, yes, you win the case, but you have depleted their other parent and they can't parent effectively. So just keep that in mind when you're dealing with those types of things. Of course, keep that in mind with any type of work that you do that involves other people, because you want to make sure that it's favorable. That's how manifestation works. You go into it with a clear heart and clear intentions. Okay, now I know there's some work that people do that we're not going into it for a favorable outcome for the other person. That's a whole nother video. But for this one, with regards to legal situations, just make sure that you're framing it in the framework of the best possible outcome for everyone. Okay, is that fair? Does that make sense? Or do I need to explain it a little bit more? But I think you guys you guys are smart. You get it. So I'm using orange. Now, there's a couple of colors that you can use with regards to legal work. One other color is brown, but sometimes it's hard to find a brown candle. I've found them a few times, and I do have a place that I go to that carries them. But brown candles, for some reason, especially the jar candles here, it's hard to find those. So you can use brown. You can use brown for legal work. You can also use brown for real estate. I actually used a brown candle when I was manifesting my house. Okay, so you can use it for that. But we're going to use orange. And orange also represents dominance. It represents control. Okay? So, of course, we want to dominate this particular case. We want to dominate the outcome of what happens in this. Okay. I got you. I got you. So we want to dominate this case. We want to make sure that this case goes in our favor. So this is what you would use for dominance over a situation. Now, if you didn't have an orange candle or you didn't have a brown candle, guess what? The next best thing you would use a white candle. A white candle is universal. Okay? It is universal. So don't get so hung up on the color. Is the color important? Yes, it adds to the manifestation. But don't get so hung up on it. And it's just like, well, she said that I have to have a brown candle, and you running all over your city that you're in looking for a brown candle. No, you don't just have to have a brown candle, because it's all about your intentions. If you don't have the color that corresponds with what you're trying to manifest, a white candle does it every time. Okay? A white candle does it every time. The only other candle that I would possibly say I would not use white to substitute if it is something that requires a black candle. And again, that's a whole nother video for a whole nother time. So if something you're doing requires a black candle, first of all, you better be careful with whatever that is. And second of all, if it requires a black candle, you better use a black candle. But anyway, so we're using this orange one for dominance, for legal matters, and control over a situation. Now, what is the black candle for? That is another video. Black candles can be used for banishing work, removing negativity, and it can be used for work that is a little bit more low vibrational. Okay, a little bit of low vibrational work. Okay, that answer your question? I don't use many black candles in my work. I don't really use black candles in my manifestation work. So that should tell you something. Okay. Okay. All right. So we got the candle. We are, first things first. For me, I always cleanse my candles before I send them out, but I also strongly suggest if you order a candle from someone, you need to cleanse your own candle. Okay. And the reason we want to do that is because, you know, this candle has probably passed through a lot of hands, so it has a lot of energy on it. So we want to make sure that the tools that we're using are cleansed. And I hope this fire alarm doesn't go off. If it does, I do apologize because it is very sensitive. So I use, and you can use anything to cleanse. I use Palo Santo. I will use some white sage. You can use cigar smoke. You can simply just use some water and run over your candle. You can use Florida water to cleanse it. You could just speak cleansing words into whatever the tools that you're using. That's up to you. So I use the Palo Santo, and typically, so I am going to cleanse this candle. And when you are trying to remove something from the candle or anything, you want to go in a counterclockwise motion, because this is symbolic of ridding yourself or banishing something away. And what's very important is when you are doing this, and when you're doing any of your manifestation work, even if you're doing your vision boards, that you are constantly speaking, you know, what it is you want from this manifestation. You're speaking it into existence. Okay? So you are constantly speaking into your work. And I'm just a big believer in the spoken word and saying it. Yes, we can think it, we can feel it, we can do all of that. But for me, it becomes a thing when I say it with my voice. And that may just be a personal thing for me, but I like to speak it. Okay, so we cleanse it. Okay, and make sure when you receive your candle, and even when you're buying candles from the store and everything, cleanse your candles. It's very important that you get all that energy off of it, and it's yours. This is the only energy that you have in this candle. Okay, so I've cleansed it with the Palo Santo, and the person that's receiving this, she's going to cleanse it too. Okay, it doesn't have to be Palo Santo, or it doesn't have to be sage. This person can simply just speak into it that this candle is cleansed, removed from anybody's energy is removed from it. Just speaking those words into it. Now, I also like to, because I use herbs and I use oils, and I like for the oils to go down into the candle, I will put holes in my candle. Okay, now I already put the holes in this one, and I did so because you can see them right there. Now, my favorite number is 3. Is there some divine principle that says you have to use the number 3? I don't think so. I mean, there may be, but at least I don't know. I personally just put 3 holes. This is what I've always done. This is what works for me. You may choose to put 75 holes in here. Now, I don't know how you're going to get 75 holes in here, but whatever number resonates with you, that's your business. Whatever number resonates with you at the time that you're dressing your candle, that's what you use, okay? But I stay with 3. That's my favorite number. And what I use is this screwdriver. I'm the only one that uses this screwdriver. So all I do is I just push the screwdriver down in here as far as it can go and make the holes. Now, sometimes if the wax is really, really hard, I will take a match, or I will take a lighter, and I will heat up the screwdriver so it makes it easier for me to go get the screwdriver down into the wax, and I will just put it down in there as far as it can go. And sometimes I'll get some candles and the wax is soft and I don't have to do that. But anyway, nevertheless, this is how it's done. You don't have to use a screwdriver. You can use whatever you want to use, but this is what I use. Okay, so this is how you put the candles in. I mean, the holes in it. So I got my holes. Now, y'all remember what I told you, there are no rules in spirituality and you can kind of do it the way you want to. That's true. But for me personally, I think it's just me. I think it's just on my Virgo placements. I'm really particular about doing certain things a certain way all the time. I don't know. It's just me. But don't get hung up on my craziness. So, when you are trying to draw something into you, everything is in a clockwise motion. And when you are trying to banish something away from you or remove something from you, it is in a counterclockwise motion. And I'm a little bit anal retentive when it comes to that. Do I always hit the mark with it? No. But I try my best to. And but don't get hung up on my craziness. Now, for this candle, I have already picked out the herbs and the oils that I'm going to use. Okay, and I'm going to show you some of them. I'll show you all of them. I really don't care. However, when I initially start, I also pick sometimes some oils and herbs simply on how I feel. And I believe that that is like the best way to dress a candle in particular. Yes, I do want certain things that resonate with what the person is trying to manifest. But I also feel like it's very important that you always go on spirit and go on your intuition and what you feel, because that's going to guide you to what it is that you want to manifest. Apparently, there's something that's supposed to be in this candle. Now, I am a chronic overdresser of a candle, so don't be like me, because putting in more does not mean it's going to make it work more. That does not work like that. It has nothing to do with that. So don't sit around here and you feel like I gotta load this candle up because the more I put in here, the more it's gonna work. It don't work like that. That's not how manifestation works. But I'm a heavy-handed with everything, but I'm trying to get better. So I have some oils up here on my desk here that I kind of am looking at, and I'm just kind of gonna go on how I feel about it. Now, I talk to myself a lot when I'm dressing a candle. That's just me. So you don't have to talk to yourself, but I do talk to myself out loud because I want everything to go into this candle. I want my vibrations to go into this candle. I want this candle to know what it is I'm trying to manifest. Because again, this is, for me, this tool represents my communication with spirit, my communication with the universe. So I have to make sure that I'm speaking what it is that I want it to do in order for it to carry that message. Does that make sense, or do I need to explain that a little bit more? Sometimes I say things and I think it sounds kind of crazy, and I'm like, I don't know if people really understand that. But if it doesn't sound crazy to you, let me know. So instinctively, with this particular thing, I want this situation to be healed for this person. I want this thing to be over with, and I want some healing, because I feel like this case has probably taken a lot out of this person. It's definitely not something somebody wants to deal with, and it probably has caused some emotional damage. It's probably caused some emotional strain, and actually could have caused some physical strain with it, because I can only imagine dealing with a ongoing court case. And I know for a fact it's probably weighing heavily on your consciousness, and anything that weighs on your consciousness eventually comes out through your body. So in order for this person to start to heal mentally and physically and emotionally, I want to actually put in some healing oil into this candle because I want this situation to be healed and I want the person to be healed and whole. So I'm just going to put it down in the holes. Okay. But if you notice, I go in a clockwise motion. Okay. Now you don't have to put in a lot. Again, more is not indicative of this thing working anymore. Okay, so we did the healing oil. You know what? I want to put in some clarity and creativity oil. And the reason I want to do that is with this particular situation, it is going to take a clear mind to deal with this. Okay? So we want to be clear. And we want everyone involved in this to have a clear mind going into this. Whomever's involved. The person that I'm doing the candle for, the other person on side of the desk, the judge, we want everyone to have clarity. But we also sometimes want to put a little creativity on this situation too. And think outside of the box of how we can get this situation solved. So this is why we want to do clarity and creativity. Yes, healing. Yes. So that's me. Okay. And then I want to use a little bit of this guardian angel oil because that's self-explanatory right there. That's self-explanatory. Somebody asked me, what's your take on cinnamon? I love cinnamon in everything because cinnamon is a representative of all things good luck, prosperity, healing. Cinnamon is just that is like the go-to for everything. It just is. It brings abundance. It brings money. It's a representative of healing. It's a representative of just favorable times, money, wellness, happiness. Cinnamon is just like the staple of spiritual work. So yeah, I love cinnamon. Okay, and the final thing, and maybe not the final thing, is let's put a little crown of success in this one. Because guess what? We want a successful outcome. Okay, so these are the things that I'm putting in there based on just how I feel. Okay, so everything, oh, it smells so good. So everything's down in there, down in the holes. You don't even see it, so it's down in the holes here. Okay, now we are going to start adding our herbs to this. Okay, so they are in no particular order, so we don't have to get hung up on, do you have to put things in a certain order? No, you don't have to put anything in a certain order. There's no rule for that. Do I like to put my oils in first? Yeah, I like to put them in first. I don't know why, but I do. But there is no rule that says the oils have to go in first. All right, you put them in however you want to do it. However you want to do it. All right, so let's start with the herbs and what we are going to be using. First things first, we are going to use a little dill seed. Now, dill seed actually works for love, protection. Some people use this to break love spells. That's another video. This is good for revving up your sex drive. This is good for warding off illnesses, and this is also good for court cases. So we are going to use some dill seeds. A little bit of dill seed. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put them in here because I'm going to put them in here, and then I'm going to grind them up together, and then I'm going to put them in the candle. So first things in here is dill seeds. You do not have to use a lot. I have a little baby spoon, and I don't even use the entire thing, the baby spoon. So we're gonna put some dill seeds. So we got the dill seeds in here. The next thing we're going to use is I use a lot of chamomile in my candles. And the reason I use chamomile is chamomile represents protection, purification. It calms a situation because it's chamomile. You remember chamomile tea helps you sleep, helps you calm down. It's actually good luck with gambling, and it's for peace of mind. So I use this pretty much on everything. What's that commercial? I use this shit on everything. I use this in everything that I want a favorable outcome in, because I use it a lot in money work when you are having financial problems, to bring some peace over your money. So chamomile, I'm going to put that in there, just a little bit of that. Yeah. Then I'm going to use, what's the next thing I'm going to use? Elderflower. So elderflower helps with, again, protection. This is another one that's good for illness, but this is also good for protection from the law. Okay. Now I do have a client, and this is not the client that I'm working with right now. I have a client. How can I say this without? I have a client that stays needing protection from the law, so he's like on heavy rotation for making candles for him, and I use a lot of this for him. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. So I have some very interesting clients. So that's elderflower. Okay. What's the next one? I'm not going to use that. That's for something else. Oh, how about this one? Now this is Celadine or Celadine, depending on how you pronounce it. This is another protection herb. It's good for happiness, restoring happiness, luck. It helps with depression. It helps with your dream life. It intensifies your dream life and makes your dreams more lucid, so you know, being able to tap into your dreams. And this is also for legal matters. So we want to put as many legal herbs into this as possible. So this one, I can just put this a little bit. It's pinch in here. All right, so we put that in there. And I need my glasses. I'm trying to read this stuff, and I don't have my glasses on. What is this? Okay, the next one is going to use is Thyme or Thyme, however you pronounce it, Thyme. And this one is good for, I got a lot of protection herbs. Protection, this one is for good health. Purification, so this is good for purifying a new space. Okay, and this is also good for psychic abilities. So for those of you that are trying to tap into your psychic abilities, this is good for that. But guess what else is for? Legal battles. So this one is good for legal battles. So I have some of the rosemary stems, and then just the rosemary. So I'm going to take a little bit of this. And you know, sometimes when I'm doing it with my hands, I pinch it because I feel like that activates it. That's just me. You don't have to do that. But I kind of pinch it to, to kind of like put my little energy in it, and I feel like it activates it. But that's what I do. You don't have to do that. Okay. And what else do I have over here? Now I use this a lot on everything too. This is anise powder, or star of anise. And this brings good luck in love, money, and health, and it wards off evil. Okay? And I use this pretty much on everything, so I'm going to use it on this one too. So you can either get the actual star. So the star is going to look like this. This is what the star looks like. Okay. Yeah, this is what the star looks like. Or you could just get the anise powder. And I also have the powder. So I'm going to use just the powder. It's the same thing It's just the star ground up. And I'm going to pinch it and then put it in here. That smells good. That smells good. Okay. And I think the last thing I'm going to use is, let me see if I want to use that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I do want to use this. Okay, last thing I'm going to use is, it's an herb called deer's tongue. Now, deer's tongue is actually used to attract a new lover, and it helps increase your sex drive. It increases communication, and it helps with it to bring happiness to your marriage. But this also helps with assisting your attorney with being able to eloquently argue your case. So, of course, we want our attorney to be able to represent us in the most capable way. But deer's tongue, so I'm going to use that too. But now, I have heard, you know, I don't know because I haven't used this before, but I have heard of some people using this in work, whereas trying to get your lover or your partner to tell the truth. Okay. I don't know personally if that works or not, but I have met some people that swear they have used this particular herb in their workings, and it is a way to get your partner to tell you the truth. Or it's a way for get your partner to be more communicative, because it does help with communication. So I'm going to put it that way. They probably put their own spin on it and used it for some other stuff, but who knows, child? Who knows? I don't know. People, whatever. Again, this is spiritual work. This is what you make it. So if that's what you want to use it for, go right ahead. But it's called deer's tongue. Okay, so we're going to put a little bit of that in there. Yeah, I think that's it. One more thing, my go-to is always bay leaves. Bay leaves represent, they attract good luck, money, love, and abundance. So I always go to my bay leaves. Okay. All right, and I'm going to show you something. This is a good thing. This is also a good time to show you this. Now, we talked about the clockwise motion, the counterclockwise motion, but we also, there's a way that you are supposed to fold certain things, okay? So we have this bay leaf, okay? And I want to break it up and put it into this. Now, when you are writing your petitions, particularly when you are writing something out that you want to manifest, and you want to fold that piece of paper, there is a way that you need to fold it properly. Again, if you are trying to attract something to you, you want to make sure you are folding that paper towards you. Now, if this is something that you're trying to banish away, what do? We fold that paper away from us, and we still turn it in a clockwise motion when we're trying to draw something in, and counterclockwise when we are trying to draw something away. So even with this, something as little as this, I would fold it back. So even if I'm breaking it up, I still fold it back towards me, because we want to bring a favorable outcome for the situation. And then you find that I turn it to the right. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to crumble this up, because bay leaves attracts good luck. Okay. All right. So we got all of that in there. I think that's everything that I'm going to use. And then I'm going to take my little mini screwdriver, and I'm just going to like crush them up in here. And all the while I'm speaking, you know, what it is I want this to do. I want a favorable outcome in this legal situation for my client. I want my client to be restored, healthy, and whole. I want my client to be able to put this behind them and move forward. I want everyone involved to, you know, be treated fairly in the situation. And I just want, you know, a favorable outcome for this, for my client. So all while I'm speaking this, I'm speaking the words into these herbs and oils. To me, that's activating that. So it's important. And I know I said it wasn't no rules, but I feel like this is a rule. You need to speak it. You need to tell these tools what it is I need you to do. I want you to do. It's like, you know, I hear a lot of people, you know, when you do your prayers and petitions and whatever it is to the higher power you believe in, you're not asking. You're not asking. You're commanding. You're instructing. You're instructing the universe. You're instructing God. You're instructing whomever it is that you're talking to. This is what I want to see happen. Because I just feel like if you're asking, that means you're not sure of what you want. You're not sure. And the universe does not have time to try. Well, the universe is not going to try to figure out what it is that you want. You need to be clear and you need to be confident in what it is. And you need to give the universe instruction. Now, you also have to have the discernment of knowing when to just let the universe do its work. And trust the universe is going to give you the best outcome. So sometimes we can get so caught up in what we want that we're not really seeing clearly that that's probably not the best situation. So I gotta, at the end of the day, trust the universe. So I have ground this up in here. And I'm just placing my hand. All right. And I don't know if there's a way. Well, I don't know if you could see it. Okay, so there it is. Everything that I put in there, I told you, you don't have to put a lot. And this is probably too much too. But everything that I put in here, and I ground it up together because we want to activate it. Okay, so I got, I really can't see it. But anyway, this is everything that we put in there. So I'm going to take this and put it on top of this candle. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit between my fingers and I am going to pinch this because guess what I want to do? I want to activate this. I want to put my energy into this. I want to put my essence into this. I'm still speaking this into existence because my client is going to have a favorable outcome on this. The universe is going to do its work, and this situation is going to turn out as it should be. Okay, so now when I drop these in here, I got this other thing going here. Okay. Can y'all see that? Can you see that? Okay, so in a clockwise motion, because guess what we're doing? We are drawing in a favorable outcome to my client. I am going to just sprinkle this on here in a clockwise motion. And maybe a little bit more. And you actually want to get some of this down into those holes. All right. All right. So we got it on top. So we got it on top. And this is what it looks like. It's not fancy, but this is what it's going to look like. Well, every time I turn it around, it kind of shifts a little bit. So let me see. So this is what we got here. And you notice a lot of it went down in the holes, which is actually what I wanted to do. So you can take your fingers, you can move it around. And okay, and now when my client gets this, I want her to make sure that she moves the herbs away from the wick, because let's be realistic here. We are spiritual beings and this is spiritual work, but this is still fire. So we need to practice, let's use some common sense and practice fire safety. So we want to make sure we are moving the herbs away from the wick so there's less risk of those herbs catching on fire. Okay? Because we don't want it to do that. And again, if you can get the herbs down into the hole, even better. So I usually take my little stick here and stick a lot of those herbs down in the hole. Perfect. Okay. So, what's the last thing that I want to do? Okay. So, last thing I want to do is I will top it off with a few more oils. So I have everything that I wanted down in there. And there is 1, 2, 3 oils that I want to top it off with. Okay. The last oil one of the oils I'm going to use is, this is Solomon Seal. And Solomon Seal oil is good for court cases, but it's also good for, in particular, helping with the judge having the wisdom to preside over the case. So you want a judge that is effective and knows the law, and that's going to be fair in the situation. So this helps with the judge having the discernment. Having the discernment to govern over the case. So I have a question. Let's see. I heard that if after you burn your candles that the color on the glass has a meaning. Is that true? Yes, that is true. Also, what do you do with the candles once they are completely burned out? Okay. Okay. I'm going to answer that question. But let's get this in here. So I'm going to put a few drops of the Solomon Seal down in the hole. Now this is to help with the judge that's presiding over this. I'm going to use some court case oil. And the last thing I'm going to use is some manifestation oil. I mean, because what good is a manifestation if we're not going to use some manifestation oil? So I'm just going to put some drops around there. And that's it. And this candle is dressed. Now, God, this smells good. I have cleansed this candle. I put the holes in it. I've dressed it with all the herbs and oils that are needed. I have spoke over this candle during this entire time. And the only thing left for me to do is to send it to my client. Now, let's answer this question. I heard that if after you burn your candles that the color on the glass has a meaning. Is that true? Yes, it is. Also, what do you do with the candles once they are completely burned out? Me, I just throw them away. But, you know, some people sometimes have a way that they want to dispose of their candles. For me, it's done. Once it's burnt out and gone, it's released. So I don't really have like a certain way that I dispose of my candles and stuff like that, because once it's burnt out, the manifestation is gone. It's released. So now, if you decide that you want to have a certain way to do it, that's your personal belief and your personal practice. But for me, I just throw it away. It's done. Now, as far as the color, yes, the burn means everything. The burn means everything, and the candle flame means everything. But you have to be really, really careful about interpreting what color the candle is sometimes, because it can get a little bit tricky. If you are a person that dresses your candle, and you know, remember I said I'm a chronic overdresser. Sometimes I put too much, but I didn't do that this time. If you're someone that puts too much oil or too many herbs at the top of your candle, and when you light it, it burns, and it kind of burns the herbs and everything, what that will do is that will actually turn your candle glass black. Now, and sometimes people can think that that is a bad thing. When in fact it's just because the candle top turned black because you had too much stuff in it. Okay, so you have to be really careful about figuring out, is it too much stuff in here and that's why the candle turned black, or is this a sign of something? Okay, so a lot of times if I overdress the candle and I kind of know I overdressed it, I'll let the candle burn for a little while, which is a few days, and if I see it's clearing up, then I'll know it was just me. But if it burns all the way black, oh my God, I had that happen one time. If it burns all the way black, all the way down, or the majority of the candle, there's a problem. There's a problem, and that could be many things. That could mean many things. That can mean what you are putting that can mean, I'm gonna give you some examples of maybe what you were trying to manifest and what you're trying to tell the universe is not clear. That could mean what you're trying to manifest is really just not for you at this time. Could that mean something is working against it? Yeah, that could mean that too. But that's when you have to learn how to discern what is going on around you. At that point, when you see this candle just burning black, you probably need to check what's going on with you and around you, and figuring out what kind of energy did I put into this candle. Now, I'm a big believer in not doing this kind of work, or not doing any kind of manifestation work, when you are sick, when you are tired, when you are stressed. I just don't believe in that, because you put all of that energy into that, and that may be the cause of this thing burning black. Does that kind of answer the question? Because you want the candle to have a clear burn. You want the candle jar to be clear once it's burned all the way down. And that's an indication of you got a clean burn, you had good communication with the universe, the energy that you put into it was the right energy, what you're asking for is aligned with what with what the universe wants to bring you, you're ready to receive it. So that's ultimately what you want it to look like. Now, I will tell you the story of my black candle. So, y'all know I follow astrology, and I base a lot of my manifestation on what is going on with me astrologically. I try to time my manifestation with regards to how the planets are playing out in my life and what's the best thing for me to be doing. So I checked my chart, and this was a time that, I thought I wanted to be in a relationship. I really didn't want to be in a relationship, but, I felt like, it's time, I should. But emotionally, mentally, psychologically, all of that, I wasn't ready to be in a relationship. And deep down, I knew that. But for whatever reason, I wanted to push through anyway. So I decided that I was going to burn a love candle, because I was going to help the universe along with love. And I looked at my own personal chart and what was going on with it. And everything in that chart screamed, this is not the time. This is not the time. But old me decided I'm going to do it anyway. So I had a lot of things working against me. And this is why I tell you, you have to know when you're in the right space. Just because you can manifest something does not mean that you're ready for it. So the time that you're in, the season that you're in, it's very important that you know that you're ready to receive it. Because sometimes you can try to manifest something and the universe will send it to you and you are not ready for it. You are not ready for it. Or, the universe will say, girl, you're not ready for no relationship. Why are you playing? So which was my case. So I decided I was going to do this love candle because I was going to draw in love to myself. What I should have been doing was a damn self-love candle, but that's another story. So I'd get this big old red candle, and I dressed it up, and I want all this passionate, great love, and blah, 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 and all of that. And I did all this stuff to it. And I lit it, and I was watching it burning. And it immediately started burning black. And so again, I'm thinking, oh, I just put too much stuff in there. It'll clear up. It'll clear up. And I sat and I watched this candle, and it was burning fast. I had never seen a candle burn that fast in my life. And I was just sitting there watching it. And it got blacker and blacker as it kept going down. It kept going down. And I'm like, what is going on? I've never seen it. I had never had a candle burn that black before. And so I was just like, what is going on with this candle? I kid you not. I wish I had a picture. Actually, I got a video on my YouTube channel. And it's called My Love Candle Burn Black, if you want to see it. You can see what the candle looked like when I was finished with it. So I let it burn all the way down. Now, I should have stopped that candle immediately. Like right when it got to like a third of it was still black, burning black. I should have stopped it right then. But no, not me. I'm just going to keep going. It literally burned black from the top all the way down to the bottom. And I could not, as much as I wanted to make that into something else or make that to mean something else, I wanted to say, okay, well, I got a defective candle. Or I wanted to say that I put too much stuff in it. I knew what that meant. I knew that I was not in a space to be ready to be in a relationship. And that was definitely the universe's way of telling me, girl, this is a no-go. Abort mission. Ain't nothing about this good. So you have to be in the space of knowing who you are and knowing what kind of energy you're in and knowing where you are in your life to really, really interpret what this candle is trying to communicate to you, what the universe is trying to communicate to you through this candle. Okay? So, yeah, it does mean something. So, I hope that little story helps. Now, am I in a better space for relationships now, you ask? But nobody really asked. Yeah, I really, really am. I am in a good space for it. Have I decided to do any type of manifestation for love? No, I haven't. I haven't. Will I? Who knows? I just have to wait and see. But does anyone have any questions about the manifestation? Oh, and I'm going to put a label on here. Or maybe I'm not. The label is important too. You know what? No, I'm going to leave this one without a label because I want my client to actually attach her written petition to this candle. So I'm going to leave it just like this, and I advise her that I want her to write down what she wants to, the outcome she wants for this case, and how she, you know, whatever it is that she want to put in her written word, and I want her to attach her petition to the candle. So I'm not going to put a label on this. Okay. Oh, also, when you're doing your candles, make sure you take off all the labels on the candle. Now, I'm also going to send my client something because she's a very good client and she supports me all the time. So I'm also going to send her a house blessing candle because she did inquire about that. So I got this one. I bought this one. And this is a peaceful home and happiness candle. So I'm going to dress this one for her. I'm going to dress this one for her and send it to her as a thank you for all her support. She has been like with me since I started my business. She's been with me since I started my business, and she always supports me, so I do appreciate that. And I want to send this to her because she inquired about it, and I want her to have some peace in her home. So now, when we're talking about labels, when you purchase a candle, just say for instance you are purchasing just a regular glass candle like this. Make sure you take off all the stickers and stuff. Like if it has like a sticker in here with a price on it or wording, take all of that stuff off, because that's symbolism, and I don't want anything to interfere with your manifestation. So take all of that stuff off. Now, if you are purchasing a candle and it is labeled specifically for what it is that you want, this is like the things that you would leave on there. Like this is a house blessing candle, okay? So this can definitely stay on here because this is indicative of what we want to manifest for my client. Is a blessing over her home and peace in her home. So this would make sense to leave this particular candle on it. But I'm going to dress it with some protection herbs and some herbs for peace and all of that in her home. You know, rosemary is a good house blessing herb. And I think I might throw in some herbs for her to draw some money into her home. But does anyone have any questions about anything? Anybody have any questions? I don't even know if anybody's still on here. Look, I hope you guys have enjoyed this little impromptu live. When COVID clears, you need to host this in person. Oh, girl, no, we'll see. You know what? And it's funny you said that, because I want to say probably in 2019, when I started my candle business, when I started doing the candles, my daughter brought up an idea about doing this as type of like a mobile service. Like if people have vision parties, if I wanted to do something to the effect of having vision parties or candles, dressing parties, where I go in and have, you know, a group of people, and if they wanted to dress candles. And it's funny that you brought that up, because she mentioned that about 2019, 2020, and I was like, I'm not doing that. And it's funny that you brought that back up. So, you know what? That may be a thing. That may be a thing. Thank you for that. So Shakitha says, hey, Sonia, I'm interested in ordering a candle. Absolutely. Shakitha, you can visit visit the website. Take a look at what candles I have on there. If you have any questions, just send me a question in the, there's a form on my website that says, you know, if you want to submit a question, then let me know, and I will help you out with your candles. Does anyone else have any questions? Why all of a sudden I'm getting all these messages now from my Yahoo? She says, yes, it's a wonderful idea. Someone I speaking it into existence for your business. I know, you know what? Sometimes people can speak things for you, and you can be fighting it tooth and nail, and it'd be like the best thing ever. You know, I have a lot of Virgo placements. So Virgo people, we are always skeptical about everything. So we have to like think it out, go over it, figure out how it could fail. You know, we have to go over every possible scenario of what could happen if I do this before we even start anything. So, yeah, it's funny that came back around. That is so crazy. I will definitely consider it. Yeah, I will consider that. I wonder if there's a market for that type of thing. I wonder. Yeah, so we'll see. So Shakitha, if you want to, yeah, go to the website. I think I pinned it in the comments. And take a look at what we have. And if you don't see anything on there that really is specifically for what you want, then I can definitely customize something for you.